So, what is up, everybody? This is my critique slash rant slash observation slash documentary or whatever you want to call it of the film called Civil War, made by A24. Now, personally, the movie I was enthused, but a lot of things don't make sense. The factions don't make sense. Example would be California, Texas being a faction, the Florida faction, and whatever it was going by. And then there was like the president being a bad guy. And the problem was though is it made sense, but it didn't make sense at the same time. Um, the angle that they went in the film was a bunch of journalists, and it's intriguing that they went that way because I guess it was the smart, lazy way because there's just a lot of variables that you can't like put into the film. Like you want to, but you can't because, well, let's be honest here with you, it just wouldn't be pretty. Like example would be like, how do you pacify a region? By hanging people. Oh God, that got dark. I know it did. And it didn't cover the 5 branches of military because our munitions are they're really not PC when it comes to like, you don't want ever our American munitions used on American soil other than a designated weapons range. Like ask your gunners, ask your Marine Corps people, ask your Navy people, ask your Air Force people, be like, hey, what does a guided missile ordnance bomb look like? It doesn't look pretty. What do you mean? It doesn't look pretty. You don't want to know. It turns a bill. They'll tell you go watch the photos before Gaza and after Gaza and be like, that's what will happen. Yeah. They just do it because they were in the city. Yeah, they would probably done because so and so was in the city and they were doing something stupid in the city and they were fortifying the city because it was easier to fortify a city than it is to fortify, farmland. Even though it makes sense to fortify farmland because if you and have a multiple layer defensive system. Apparatus where basically like you have trench warfare going on and then anti-tank countermeasures, and then eventually you have everything in the city where it's just like, hey, we're in the city, everything's protected, everything's safe, and we can fight there and to be the last foothold. But the problem is though is it's still a city and no one likes fighting a city. It's like, no, buildings collapsing is not cool, bro. I'd rather have a trench collapsing. I'm sorry. Michael Bay movie scene. Oh no. Just joking. It would not be like that. Probably something more drastic. Then there's like the lack of like funding when it came to certain scenes. You would think the DoD would like throw money on this. I guess they sort of did and they didn't, because they were like the film doesn't advocate for civil war. I think it was more like a protest of people like calling it out because people were like, we want a civil war. And then there's like, because at the moment, if you read both sides of the political spectrum, like you have your leftists wanting a civil war, you want your right people on a civil war, and then like basically all their judicial apparatus doesn't want to pick a side, or they want to pick a side because they're going like, if I don't keep the right in check, the right's going to murder the left because they don't care. Like it's to the point where it's just like, no, you don't understand the right. The right's like you lock them up in jail. It's like a honey badger. That's not a threat to them. Left is literally that, and is opposite of that. But back on topic. I personally believe that it didn't cover certain things because like it just doesn't make any sense. The factions alone doesn't make any sense. Personally, I'm shocked they didn't cover like UN being deployed, because at the moment, like say if it went off today, the Civil War, we cover we're the global economy to an extent. I know that sounds cocky. How dare I be that cocky? Be like, We're the global economy, motherfucker. And everyone's gonna be like, no, you know, that was even then, like, what are you going to do if I'm wrong about that? Like, if you cancel that, make that a cancelable statement. By the way, please do make that a cancelable statement, saying America is the global economy. I'll be sitting there going like, see, this is proof. This is proof that the system's gone. Everyone's just gone mentally ill because of how's it a cancelable statement? Um, but I can see blue helmets being deployed, or mercenaries being deployed because let's be honest here with you, our all resources are not fairly distributed. They're distributed fairly. But if a civil war pops off, they will not be distributed fairly. Okay, we can all sit here and lie to ourselves and go, "Oh, they'll do it." And it's like, I don't think Arizona and Utah is going to give water to California. They're going to look at them like, "We don't give a shit if you're the food basket. We don't believe in your political policies and your politics, and why should we feed your people?" When you don't care about our feelings. Like, what the fuck? Are you that stupid? We don't care if you got the population. We will, poison our water to buy a spite out of you. You are aware of that, right? Our water wells will be poisoned. Then there's the whole other things. There is. Like I said, the judicial apparatus is not covered because did I mention them? Because that right there alone will be preventive on everything. Because I argue that if it got that bad, you would see like the FBI acting as assassins, or the Secret Service acting as assassins. Why? Because let's be honest here with you. I have to keep my generals in check, and if I put the ones that maintain a certain, law and order in the ranks of the services, that which prevents the factions from forming to begin with. That's what you do. Same thing with law enforcement, which that is also an argument that it is a possibility of other things. But that's where I'm going to end this at because I'm trying to not use certain words. And this is a harder thing to do than I thought. Like, wow, that algorithm is evil. So we're going to post this out. I didn't say anything out here too bad or evil or too anti this or anti that or pro that. I just sat there and just basically was bad about a movie. Cast was awesome. They were great. It was just the writing. And they just wrote things out and didn't plan things out. And I can see this be a series, like, but different angles. Like soldier, politician, civilian, scavenger, stuff like that. But oh well. Here we go. Say peace out. Take it easy.